Hello everybody, Facebook, YouTube, wherever we decide to upload this. This is technically the Attic Sessions Part 3 or the Jungle Room Sessions Part 1. My guest today, the much requested after Angry Nile flat out fucking refused, from a band called Guns to Roses, good band, my bass player Harrison.
Hello.
Cool. So, we're basically going to run through a bit of history, Harrison, and probably stuff that I don't even know about you, and prop mic as well. Okay, I know half of you know it is, but so how did you get started in music yourself and that?
I've always loved music and playing music. I think I started playing guitar when I was young, about 14. One of my friends was a massive Guns N' Roses fan, and when I grew my hair long, there wasn't too many friends at school. So through him, got into playing guitar, and then just progressed through that. Went to college for it, uni, then met Guns N' Roses.
Before you met us, you were working as a barman, and you know, since our lockdowns and us being at loose ends, hence why this exists, you were working in a bunch of bars, and I first met you, I think I met you prior.
Yeah,
but
I met you in the first time. My friend Dagan his band was supporting you in Scotland, and I drove up with him.
Edinburgh, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's
and
it.
I got completely drunk and knocked an entire table over at drinks.
That's it, yeah.
And not much changed the next time I met you, which was in London.
Yeah, and then I think you were working in the Intrepid Fox.
Yeah.
And I'll admit now, I don't remember meeting you in Edinburgh because you dyed your hair by the time. So it took me fucking ages, and the states I used to be in London. So I feel like I first met you in Soho, but in recollection, it was that guy in Edinburgh. So how was your times working in Soho before?
I loved it. It was an extremely fun time. Probably for my liver, not the best of times for that, health-wise, but it was a fun time. Met some incredible people. Obviously met Guns N' Roses, met other people from the rock scene. Arno, who I think you're interviewing next week.
No, Friday we got Arno and Ray Noir,
who I ended up living with for about a year, which was another fun time.
Tell me your experiences of living with Arno, because this will link in well for my Friday interview.
So, right, Arno will deny this, but when me and him used to get drunk, at the Intrepid Fox, there was like a nice leather sofa that we used to sit on when you'd had a bit too much to drink. He'd come over next to me, and he's Belgian, wonderful French accent though, and he'd sit next to me going, "Alison, you know, sometimes I think it would be better if we were gay." And I'm sat there going, "What?" He's like, no, not like that. I mean, I love you, I love Pete, I love Max, I love everybody. But, my God, it'd be so much fun. We'd just have drinks all the time. And that is my strong recollection of him, along with him making coffee at 7 in the morning on the stovetop, wearing fluffy slippers and a dressing gown, with yesterday's eyeliner still running down his face.
Quick break, because of the fucking train. Cool. We can just kind of roll with this, like nothing detrimental to fucking James or Matt and their drug taking on, I think.
Oh, yeah, talking about Steve and his gluten.
That was a quick train for a change. Okay, and then, I think not long after that period, that was when I was in my, what I call my limbo phase of, I was very active on the social scene and drinking and doing everything way too much to excess. But then I met you working behind the bar, and by then you changed your hair to blonde, and well, I know this to be true, but our friends, fans may not, but is it true that you actually couldn't play bass when I met you?
I've never even touched a bass in my entire life. And I'd play guitar, but I've never played guitars in bands. I write with the guitar. So just the actual playing of an instrument. I'd played guitars in bands in the past, but it was a long time ago. I'd not really spent much time with actual instruments. And then you asked me, I think it was on like a Wednesday night, can you play bass? I said no. You went, could you learn? I said yes, assuming that there'd be a long period. You said great, I'll see you on Friday. I asked for a set list to frantically... Well, the first thing I did was run down to Rose Morris Guitar Shop and buy a bass because none of my friends had one. And I start trying to learn it. I asked for a set list. You sent 30 songs, and then I got on stage and we did 15 of those, and then 15 songs that I'd never heard before.
And I think that was the birth of Just Wing It, Harrison.
The Just Wing It, it'll be alright, which has struck fear into many a member of Guns N' Roses.
I've got a reputation for doing this, but I actually don't recall now. We're going to be doing the jam as we do later on in this, and I've got two former Guns N' Roses members here, James Appleby and Matt Davis, and I don't think it's accurate. Maybe I did it once to Harrison, but guys, have I got a reputation for fucking dropping you all in the deep end with sets?
Yeah, it's a classic. Just Wing It, it's a classic, isn't it? Hey,
Don't
we're
wing
not
it.
take the song of your life. Just wing it. Oh, never heard it, Gav.
Gav, we haven't got a sampler. It's alright, just wing it.
Don't do back off bitch tonight, Gav. Back off bitch.
Right, what songs does James know? Do you know Coma?
Locomotive?
No, on the stage. Let's do Coma. James don't know it. Just wing it, it'll be alright. Just start it.
James, do you want to jump in and tell the camera what it was like?
I did actually know Coma. Let me just give you a
Just come in
That
and
was
kneel
the
on the
thing, though,
floor
we-
here for you. This is James Appleby, ladies and gentlemen. He was slashing Guns N' Roses circa 2015-16. Oh, James.
James,
He's got a 10-second cameo here, so I don't know why he's saying that.
I'll fucking Alright, so I did actually know Coma, but I had a reputation of fucking it up every time I played it, basically. So it kind of sounded like I didn't know Coma. So
Do you concur with Harrison that I used to drop fucking songs on you guys?
yeah, all the time.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a great idea. Let's do this. It'll be really good at
Yeah.
that show.
But
Gav,
how
not
the
about, we've got 2 hours notice. We're on the way to the gig. We can't physically learn it. That'll be alright.
Yeah.
No, I'll not do it on stage. Boys, just wing it.
Biggest song you had pipe bombed on you?
Coma.
James?
Must be Coma.
Oh. I don't do it no more. This was periods where I was off, worse for wear.
Locomotive and a sound check. But
To be fair,
later,
Locomotive.
guys.
So I started to learn Locomotive as a backup plan for if Gav tried to call a song that I didn't know, because there was a while where we'd never done Locomotive and I thought this might be the one he doesn't know. So my plan was if he called something, I'd start playing Locomotive and then it would be his turn to try and wing it. Unfortunately, we then ended up just learning Locomotive and we do it sick. And it ends up being actually one of the best songs we do.
And it's me that got jumbled up with it. The last time I said in the interview with Steph from Metalworks, actually, I think that song was 1/5 of the reason why I decided to stop drinking, because I watched back our Southend on Sea video and it was just like, what am I singing? It was the same verse over and over again, and though our crowd was so used to it and didn't care, mainly as Noel's record mates, it was embarrassing to look back on. So as I said, that was probably after 18, 20 years, just gave up alcohol. Kind of took inspiration from you in a way when you did it for a while. But then someone pointed out that you and I, we never stay parallel on the same habits.
Yeah, we tend to
If
always
you
one's
start
doing the
drinking,
opposite.
you start drinking, I stop. If I start drinking, you stop. And the same with everything, basically. If one of us gets on a health kick, I'm there in McDonald's. And fucking, yeah, it's just like...
Problem this is now encouraging me to just continue drinking, because then you'll be happier not drinking. And it's like, oh god, if I start drinking, is it all going to unravel?
And this is the thing is a lot of people will still remember us as the Wreckhead band that used to turn up and be amateurs, but it is, as much as I used to call you all boring fuckers, and Mac did as well, I've kind of got used to it, and I prefer waking up, not spilling out, not having to ring all my mates going, fuck now boys, we got pissed off last night. And so it's been inspiring for me. Granted that half of you don't drink because you've got to drive, but it's helpful for me to be around people that aren't getting hammered all the time, because then I'm not gonna, I'll just have a little like capful. Sorry to do your voice there, Matt. I don't know where that come out. And yeah, basically, no, it's been a positive experience. So, with
So just I think that's one of the things that keeps us sober on stage as well. Is half of us have to drive, and half of us, if we're doing locomotive, have to be sober to do it. Because
Yes.
me attempting to play locomotive, if I've just looked at a bottle of alcohol, is not going to go well.
Yeah. No, it's definitely something that I learned the hard way. It took a few years, but yeah. So, what's your most memorable gig and country?
Slovenia is one of my favourite places to play. It's difficult to point because there's so many different things about it. Everywhere has such different kinds of atmospheres or shows. The Slovenia ones are really fun, and sometimes I feel like it's a shame that we don't get to do shows that long in the UK. Because when we do longer shows in the UK, it tends to be they're more of a fun, smaller show that we're doing for fun to do longer sets. It'd be cool to be able to do like the bigger venues that we do, and be able to do the 2 hours of the festivals, be able to do 2.5 hours like we do in Europe, which could be fun. The Netherlands tours, I think, are some of the most memorable for just funness.
And the most precision. We're like, I find we're our most precise when we're in Netherlands or Denmark, kind of thing.
Yeah. I felt like when we were in the Denmark recently, the last show we did was phenomenal as well, and we were really precise on it, and there's something about it, because all crowds are different, and it's fun to try and work out what that crowd's going to want to hear and like, because sometimes you play in the UK where if you play something from Chinese Democracy, it's not so well received, but if you're in Europe and you play it, they're some of the most enjoyed songs of the shows, other than the greatest hits, and it's fun to try and work out and bounce around what's...
I've always found, for us in particular, for as long as we've been going, the ability that we've had to be able to jumble up songs, and yes, from Chinese Democracy. And I brought this up, Chinese Democracy got brought up with the first interview with Bend Over, who, as you know, hates the fucking album, but we've always accepted it. We did their launch party for Universal in London, and what's your favourite song off that album?
There's so many for different things, because This I Love, I think, is such an underrated song. It is harrowing and beautiful, but it's a song that I can only listen to at certain times. It's not a song I want to listen to when I'm in a good mood, because it's going to crash it, and if you're in too much of a bad mood, it's really not the song you want to hear. Catcher in the Rye is great. Shackler's Revenge. Better is really fun to play live since we started doing that, especially the fact that we do the way they do it live, I think works so well. It sounds incredible.
One of our old friend of yours and mine, and one of our former members, Jack Edwards, for his band Piston, go check him out, recently did my 3 worst gig experiences for his page, and coincidentally 2 of them were G2R. So what were your 3 worst gig experiences? Preferably anything that doesn't mention me being a cop.
It wouldn't be anything like that. I think it'd be the period of the band where I was drinking a lot and I hadn't gotten as good at bass as I should. If that could be lumped together as one of them, until when I quit drinking and I took the time to actually learn everything and become a better musician, in that period would be one. Number 2, it was fun at the time. In hindsight, not the best show we've ever done. Was the show where in Slovenia, when I turned around and saw our drummer Matt had disappeared off the stage and was stood with a mojito, which instead of going, "What the fuck are you doing?" I went, "Holy shit, he's got a mojito. I want a mojito." And I went and got a mojito as well during a guitar solo.
Was this Slovenia 2015?
Yeah.
James was on that gig as well. We were on about this the other day.
It was during his guitar solo that I went to the bar because Matt had a mojito. I came back with a mojito. And all of them went, "What? Where'd you get that from?" And I went to the bar and he went, "Fuck, get me one." So I had to go and get Niall a mojito as well. So I'm stood with 2 mojitos as James finishes his solo and starts playing Sweet Child of Mine. So I'm frantically trying to figure out where to put 2 mojitos, pick my bass up, check it's in tune, drink the mojito, and start the bass part.
That explains what went wrong.
Yeah, that is probably why that did not go well. And the first one was probably. Now I love the people in India and I love the experience.
I knew this one was coming.
But a speaker tower collapsing during 4 songs in, after we'd flown for 16 hours, was probably one of the worst experiences of my life, and the most terrifying I've ever had.
Yeah. Anyone that doesn't know, you can find that on the YouTube. We've got in a separate clip. It was all over the news over there. And basically we had a hurricane kind of storm kicking off, and it weakened the mud on the fields. We had about 20,000 people there. For us, it wasn't a proper festival, and I think it was us and the support band, so it was a big deal for us. We'd done TV spots prior, we'd done all this shit. It was so hyped up, and then 4th song in, the speaker comes down, crushes 4 people, and I do recall that gig because, Andrea and Harrison were visibly upset. Niall was just blank anyway. And I think the only 2 were me and Matt here, because we'd been drinking all prior. We're like, fuck it, we'll sort this out. And went out and we just saw 30,000 raging people running. It was like, yeah, Matt, let's fuck off now, quick. And I do recall it was kind of harks back to GNR St. Louis incident, but we were literally chucked into the back of a few, well, that guy like Samoa Joe, you know, like, yeah. We were packed into a bunch of fucking Range Rovers, which were just ploughing. It didn't hit anyone, but it was like ploughing through a sea of people, and fuck, they didn't know we were inside. It wasn't our fault. This is the fucked up thing. And then I do recall we got back to the no Wi-Fi hotel, and then I think an hour later the guys went to bed, and then me and Matt were like, do you reckon they've forgotten about it now, like chilled out? So we went out, stupidly, nothing happened, and we had a good night anyway. So
I think the good thing in hindsight as well is that everybody was okay from it. There was no serious injuries.
Yeah.
But at the time, I remember I was singing the backing vocals, knocking on heaven's door, and out of the corner of my eye I just saw a 30-foot speaker fall into a sea of people, and that was what freaked me out the most. Also, so as it's all kicking off, our drivers are pretty much running us down a hill to throw us into these Land Rovers. Punches getting thrown, we get thrown in the Land Rovers. I must have ended up in what should have been known as the most anxious Land Rover on earth, because it had me having a full-blown panic attack, Andrea having a full-blown panic attack, and then Matt having a full-blown panic attack. Our driver didn't speak much English, so it's just us sat in a steaming hot car because we couldn't take the windows down because then people would know it was us in the Land Rover, and us all sat there going, this is what the fuck has just happened. Having to drive for 2 hours back to our hotel, get back, Gavin Null, no, everything's fine. Bloke said he's in the hospital now, it's a concussion. I'm like, oh great, we've sat for 2 hours thinking we've killed people.
I recall the next day as well, so there was, as this was a storm, torrential rain ensuing that we'd never seen in England or anywhere else, and as we were returning to the airport, me and Matt requested that we visit one of the victims, and you remember, Matt, we went to his house, and it was just like, it was like my shed on stilts. He had a little TV in there, he had a family in there, and it was just like, I felt so bad for him, because it's just like, it was a big thing, and I think I gave him some stuff, didn't I?
That's right, yeah.
I gave him some like souvenir, and he face lit up, he was just so happy about it. I think we had a photo with him as well, didn't we?
That's right, yeah.
But yeah, man, it's just, it was a sad time, you know. Something went from being up there to down there. It was just like, fucking hell.
Yeah,
I will say though, despite all that, I went back the following year and we had a better time. Although we were hit with a cloud. We were so high up, and that there was a cloud that, you know, that spray where you're spraying on your plants.
Yeah.
That constantly for 2 hours, and different experience. It's just, I'd like to play that country at least once, or that part of the country, but it's not pissing down the rain. So.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because everybody was so nice and friendly, and I've never been around people that were so hospitable, that genuinely do anything for anybody, and it was phenomenal to be around that. And then we knew how many people couldn't show sure we're all looking forward to this incredible show. So it's going from an extreme high to then an extreme low in such a blink of like in less than a chorus.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, because I loved the experience and it was a great apart from that part, and it's just such a shame that going to play a show and the show is the bit that was the disappointment bit.
If you go on YouTube, type in Guns to Roses LPS, or one more Guns to Roses separate LPS, so you can find the news reports of that clip anyway. So so in lockdown, we're all stuck in at the moment. I mean, I've pretty much enjoyed it. Not many people have though. But this is where you've been doing your cocktail things, which I nicknamed Hammered with Harrison, which you probably don't like, but it's caught on. So, are you enjoying doing your cocktail videos?
Yeah, they're fun. It started off, it got a bit out of hand with some of them. The amount of messages I get requesting things, and the Patreon that I set up that's doing pretty well with it. It's helping me to pay for the cost of some of the stuff.
Yeah.
But it's been really fun. It's been nice to try and test myself for what I remember. Because I was a bartender, obviously, at the Intrepid Fox. It was more of a normal, like a rock dive bar. And then I worked in a cocktail bar for about 3 years. So it's been fun trying to work out what I can do with what I can get. And luckily, because of what I've been doing during lockdown, I can get into supermarkets and get things that I need. But even that's been quite fun, trying to, when you realise that the supermarket doesn't have limes and you're frantically looking around a baking section to find lime juice so you can make a cocktail, has been quite fun. Although some of them have caused me a bit too many issues when I'm like, oh, this is really nice, and what starts as one cocktail for the video ends up as me 9 cocktails deep, sat in my garden going, oh, what have I done? Why is everything spinning? And it's only like 3 in the afternoon.
That one answers my next question, because a lot of people would ask me when I put them on the Guns page, does he drink the cocktails? And I'm like, I will find out one day. So you answered that next one for me. Now, we've got one show this year at Apps Court Farm. I mean, we're supposed to have more shows, but let's be fucking fair, no one knows what's going on. But we've got a festival coming up, which will be our first performance since March the 15th. And to be fair, for me, this is the longest time we've had off since 15 years, I think. So it'll be interesting to get back together. But Apps Court Farm is called Just a Tribute Festival, and you've got us there, you've got Niles Fallout Boy there, you've got a Queen band called the Bohemians, you've got Bon Jovi tribute band, you've got My Chemical Romance tribute, Green Day, fucking all this shit. Loads of bands. If you check it out on Facebook, the event is up there. And it's a little bit more expensive than your average festival, but the guy running it does have extra costs to incur due to this being COVID approved, all this bullshit. So it's only limited to 450 tickets. So if you guys are missing live music, this is a 3-day event. Even Metalworks is on the bill. And are you looking forward to that?
I'm ridiculously looking forward to it. Seeing, when the lockdown was announced, seeing my calendar just blank from doing non-stop shows of like 3 or 4 a week for like 6 years was a bit of a disheartening thing, and to be able to have one in that's, I looked up how they were doing it, everything seems like it's going to be as safe as they can make it, everything looks really cool and set out, so I'm extremely excited for it.
Okay, so I've got one question that maybe you can answer, because it's been a question that's been asked to me for about 14 years. But if you can answer it, because you spend most time, what is Niall's problem?
Life. I don't know what's wrong with him, but there's something wrong with him. He can be a really nice guy when he's really quiet and doesn't speak, but there's just something wired in his brain that goes, I'm just going to be an arsehole to everybody. I think it's how short he is that triggers it.
Now, can you concur as well, because a lot of people on social media over the years, all they see is my retorts to Niall, and they're like, oh, you pick on that poor little guy all the time. Can you concur that it isn't always me starting it?
It's 50-50, but a lot of the time, Niall doesn't help himself. If he says small things constantly, and if he finds something that annoys you, he just keeps on going at it, and he never lets anybody have anything nice. He's got to ruin it.
Is it true the only time he laughs is when something shit happens to one of us?
Pretty much, yeah.
So, I just remembered something about one of the festivals we did. 'Cause we didn't mention much of the festivals, but last year I think we did 29 festivals in 2019. And a gust of wind's just going to go fucking yellow. We did 29 festivals last year, but one of them that stands out to mind was one where we had to play as a 4-piece because Niall turned up late, and I think we were in Bristol or Keynsham or somewhere. Tell me more about that. Tell them.
So Niall plays in a Fall Out Boy tribute. So instead of travelling with us to the gig, he had a gig with his Fall Out Boy tribute on the evening. So his plan was he'll travel up with them, we'll meet him at the festival during the afternoon, play, then he'll go off with his other band, we'll go if we had somebody who was going to be replacing Niall for the day that we've played with a lot, who's really good. Problem solved. Niall puts in the wrong postcode. So it was a university town. There's 2 different university campuses that are about 45 minutes apart. Niall is usually the person who organises our travel. He fucked up in the most royal way of going to the wrong festival site. So he just shows up at a random university that isn't the right one. Stood there going, "Where's the festival?" with the security guard going, "Oh mate, no, that's on the other side. You're about 40 minutes away." Niall was due on stage in 20 minutes because it was running late as it is.
Yeah.
So we're stood on stage, sound checking, going, "Oh shit. It's one of the fake festivals, which are phenomenally run. Everything's on the ball. We're on our best behaviour at them. We've never had any issues since we've been back. It's all been perfectly fine."
Since 2011.
And Niall is usually the person that everybody trusts to be doing the right thing. This time, so he's 40 minutes away. I've got the promoter of the festival going, "Where's Niall?" Saying he's going to be here soon. Niall's going the speed limit to get to the festival site. He's still late. Our stage time comes, he's still not there. All he does is just call going, "I'm 5 minutes away," about 10 times. So we end up going, "Oh shit, we're going to have to do something. We can't not go on." So we went on and did like an impromptu jam.
Didn't we do Sweet Child of Mine? We opened with Sweet Child.
Yeah, so we started jamming on like Rocket Queen, the 3 of us, and Gav singing a bit while we tried to find out what was happening. So we stood on stage going, "My God, where the fuck is that little prick?"
This is the last fake fest we're ever doing, lads.
Yeah, this is it. This is us done. Jez is going to hear us. He's going to tell everybody how useless Niall is, like as if we don't tell people enough how
That
useless
was the only
he is.
good outcome of it.
Yeah, but I'm like, we're going to be ruined because of Niall. About 5 minutes into us jamming on stage, while I'm hoping that the earth will just open up and swallow us, all of a sudden I see one of the techs come running in, slide Niall's amp on stage. He comes scurrying in, still in his shorts and vest that he woke up in, his baseball cap on backwards, his trainers on, panicking, grabs his guitar, he can't plug it in right, finally gets it going. I turn and go, "Play Sweet Child of Mine," because I thought it was the only thing that could recover it. I think we did Sweet Child of Mine. I think we ended on it as well, because we used so much time waiting for Niall that we only ended up with about 20 minutes set, but then the band after us were running late, so we ended up doing a longer set than we were supposed to. But because we thought we only had 20 minutes, we did all the hits, and then we're stood there going, "Well, it's a festival crowd. What else can we do that this festival crowd's going to enjoy when we've done all the songs that they love?" And Niall stood there, still in his shorts, and I've never been so happy to see somebody, but at the same time thought somebody was such a fucking idiot as that man that day.
Cool. Just kind of a quick recap and to plug the upcoming show we got. We're going to have a bit of a jam together. I have one of my new friends, Dan Pye, down from Liverpool as well, who we're going to all join in on a song. Matt Davis doesn't want to, but he's going to be playing drums on the stool like Bendover did. And, you know, do something useful, Matt, innit? By the way, he's just let himself go in lockdown. He hasn't aged tremendously, despite what you might think when you see him. And James Appleby is dressed as DJ Steve from People Just Do Nothing today. And so yeah, we're all gonna have a jam together. We're gonna cut off now and figure out what we're gonna do. And is there anything I missed? Anything you want to say?
I think you've covered everything.
Cool. All right then. So yeah, guys, we'll be back with jam. We don't even know what songs we're gonna do yet, but it'll be something for everyone, and it won't just be me singing this time. I think I'll do one. Cool. See you in a bit.
And then go into the riff again.
There you go.
Let's do it.
Happy days.
So at the end of the chorus,
Second time round.
E D E E C D. Do it.
Where are we going from?
So
Start.
Look at this, got
you
to
got
nail
to
this
nail that
intro.
intro again, bro.
So,
Do that shit on the cam. That sounded.
shit. That's how it is, bro.
Sounds good.
It sounds sick.
Actually quite alright, actually, the hang of that.
I really love it.
You boys know Honky Tonk Woman?
I used to.
I don't.
Was that Gav tape?
No, we all sing it.
Yep.
All right, let's jam it and see what the fuck happens. I'll snip it out and the rest of it. Wing it, boys. Be all right. Do you know what we should
Grinder,
do?
innit?
We should do this. Quickly tell him about Used to Love Her, and we'll splice the two together, like we used to.
Oh no, it'll end up bad because if you know one of them, it's more difficult to play the other one.
All right then.
Yeah.
We'll do this one first, and then I'll pause it, and then we'll do the second one. Okay. Pick off it. When you're sitting there in your silk upholstery chair, talking to some rich folk that you know, I hope you won't see me in my ragged company. You know I could never be alone. Take me down, little Susan, take me down. I know you think you're the queen of the underground. You can send me the flowers every morning. Oh yeah, yeah. Send me the flowers by the U.S. mail. Send me the flowers to my wedding. Oh yeah, yeah. And I won't forget to put roses on your grave. When you're sitting back in a roadman Cadillac, making that song Kentucky Derby Day. Well, I'll be in my basement room with a needle and a spoon and another heart to take my pain away. Take me down, little Susan, take me down. I know you think you're the queen of the underground. You can send me the flowers every morning. Oh yeah, yeah. Send me the flowers by the U.S. mail. Send me the flowers to my wedding. Oh yeah, yeah. And I won't forget to put roses on your grave. Aye, 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 yeah. Take me down, little Susan, take me down. I know you think you're the queen of the underground. You can send me the flowers every morning. Oh yeah, yeah. Send me the flowers by the U.S. mail. Send me the flowers to my wedding. Oh yeah, yeah. Don't forget to put roses on your grave. Won't forget to put roses on your grave. Cool.
Why did you never sing the backing vocal of that before?
I have always do,
Have you?
even when I was a kid.
I mean during gigs when we've done it.
What's
yeah?
Honky Tonk Woman got?
Yeah. Oh man,
All
it's sick.
AC/DC should be perfect because they're all open chords. If
Yeah.
you play it right, if you play it right.
There's a fucking brilliant thing of him on Howard
Right, let's
Stern
do
and
the
he misses
Stones,
when
then
he
we'll
come in,
try
you see
Jamie
the
Weeps,
more
and then
Geordie
we'll
accent
call it a
going,
day.
Ah, tack and run again, lads.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright,
you've
we'll
got
do.
it.
We'll do
Teach me
this.
after.
Yeah,
Yeah, you've got it. I can see. I did learn it.
yeah. You'll have to help me with this.
Alright. I'm just winging this one, mate. I might just bust out a guitar solo and I don't know what to do.
barring queen in Memphis. She tried to take me upstairs for a ride. She had to heave me right across the shoulder, 'cause I can't just seem to drink you off my mind. She's a honky-tonk woman. Give me the honky-tonk blues. I met her in New York City. I'm sure there was a break then. I must have put up some kind of a fight. The lady there, she covered me in roses, blew my nose and then she blew my mind. She's a honky-tonk woman. Give me the honky-tonk blues. She's a honky-tonk woman. Give me the honky-tonk blues. Look out. Can you get someone get the lyrics up for While My Guitar Gently?
That's it. And from the first time.
Fuck me.
Remember, the first verse is from the first time. Remember it like that.
What do you mean?
On from the first. It was. And from the.
Oh yeah. Oh,
First
from the
verse.
first time. Yes, right. Yeah, nice to get that. Go on then.
So they call me Lightning. Hold tight.
Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. And from the first time that she really done me, oh, she done me. Done me good. I guess nobody ever really done me. Oh, she done me. She done me good. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let It's a love that has no past. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down.
That sounded ace.
I'll do corrupt.
You got any more up your sleeve, boys? Like, I mean, Gillies. Whenever Gav said me something, I always make sure I'm
Guys, can we quickly do a Kevin quiz?
Look at you all, see the love there that's sleeping, while my guitar gently weeps. I look at the floor and I say it needs sweeping. Still my guitar gently weeps. I don't know how. Nobody told you how to unfold your love. I don't know how someone controlled you. They bought and sold you. I look at the world and I notice it's turning, while my guitar gently weeps. With every mistake we must surely be learning. Still my guitar gently weeps. Yeah. You were diverted, you were perverted. I don't know how you were invited. No one alive to you. I look at you all, see a love there that's sleeping, while my guitar gently weeps. I look from the wings at the play you are staging, while my guitar gently 30. No one is loving you. I look at the world and I know tears is turning while my guitar gently weeps. Look at you walk. Still my guitar gently
Okay, guys, I think we finished it about 2 minutes ago. It's one of them loops.
It's about 12 minutes long.
Is it?
The version with Prince
Yeah.
doing it, it feels like it never ends.
I only just discovered
like
that. That's
Layla,
why
innit?
it's in the set.
Yeah.
I think we should cover it.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
We can
GNR show,
you
fuck
can-
off, we're playing this.
You can just fade it out somewhere.
Right.